gonna go ahead and start the stream off real quick. I'm gonna be showing you a clip of me and Fallen Rogue just playing a couple games, things like that, and move on from there. This is my review of the Scuf Infinity 4PS for PlayStation 4. Here we go. So, today we will be going over the Scuf Infinity 4PS. This is the one that you've seen in my basic setup video, the Wolf Grey White, based off the LA King. But first off, if you like open dialogue, if you like discussions, or things of that nature between friends, colleagues, whatever you want to call it, I highly encourage you, especially if you like YouTube-related content, things like, this whole CSGO Lotto, things like that. I highly encourage you to check out Drama Alert's beta podcast. The link will be in the description at the end of this stream. I will be ending this stream as soon as I'm done talking about the Scuf controller, and then moving on to a different stream. I tried to do this through, a game clip, and it wasn't really working well, so I thought streaming it would be easier. So, the Drama Alert, the beta podcast is actually 23rd in the iTunes chart, I believe, through the podcast. Like I said, I will leave it in the description. I'm a huge fan of it. I highly encourage everyone to check that out. Let's move forward. So, the controller, the Scuf Infinity 4PS controller. Well, let me first off by saying this. I've owned 3 Scuf controllers. The first one was Stealth, actually found locally here, and those are great controllers for Xbox. Against that, it was an older one, so it was pretty unique in its own way. And I made the switch once I found out about Call of Duty and everything like that. I made the switch to PlayStation, and I looked around, didn't really think I had the money to buy a fully customized Scuf controller. So I did my research, and I found it was the gray 20 or 25th anniversary controller by PlayStation. I sent it in the Scuf, and they scuffed it up. They didn't take out the anniversary button or anything like that. So I mean, it was a really cool concept. They left it exactly how I wanted it. So that was great. And now here we go. We're right at here. So let's go through a couple of the features. Well, first off, everyone knows Infinity. You can switch out the thumbsticks, things like that. One thing I will tell you is that the Infinity 4PS does come with Scuf sticks, so it's a little bit harder to put on your Control Freaks if you have them, but it's doable. I've done it. I have the Infinite Warfare one that just got released, so I'm just going through with that. And going to the next couple things. They have trigger extenders. Now I know they had the fangs, or whatever you want to call them, that weren't that big of a hit, but I mean, I think they're better now. I use mine, and I can easily swap it back to regular stuff and everything like that. But the 2 things that I will say that are different, especially different from the sending service one that I had, 2 features would be the quick, the trigger stops and the adjustable trigger mechanism. Great quality build through there. When I had the Xbox One Stealth, I bought the aftermarket grips on the side that you could do that through, and it was kind of, it just didn't feel really that durable. Like, I thought that it was going to break, it wasn't going to work. I had to readjust and adjust and do all this stuff so that I could make it all work in the end. And it just feels like a more solid build overall. So that's one that main thing that done, like, they got it completely right. I don't know what it looks like on the Xbox One Infinity, anything like that, but I'm telling you right now, the overall build of this controller is second to none. I mean, they did a great job with this. They made their great product better, which I think that's awesome. I always love it when companies do that. If you guys don't know already, you can change colors, you can do all this, you can customize it all day long. You can't put any crazy paint jobs like you see on other things, but personally, I'd rather have features more than, you know, a cool paint job. You know, that's, you know, and then the, you know, they're also completely legal. They don't have like any mods in them or anything like that. So another thing would be the military, you know, grade, you know, grip that you can get on now. I know you can get this on the Xbox, you have them for a while, but I don't think you can do that initially with the PlayStation. So that's another thing in mind. You get, you know, the grip in different colors. You can get pretty much anything in different colors. So you know, my controller has everything in it minus the EMR key, which I'm not really going to use that, so that's just not for me. So moving on, I've already kind of went through what it was like compared to my other controllers and everything like that. Let's go over this. So you have $200. If you have $200, you can say, hey, I could spend this towards, you know, gaming. Let's say you really like gaming, you want to have that advantage, that edge, whatever the case may be. You know, by all means, you know, go on Scuf, pick up that controller, you know, get all the colors that you want, and so on and so forth.
Defensive systems online.
Not do the send-in service. Send-in service was, for me, I think I got it down to about $100 compared to $200 to get, you know, for, you know, that's how much I spent for mine. Now, if you can't do either of those, one thing I would say, you know, that would help you improve your game is to go get Control Freaks. They're, you know, below $20. They're really, really great. I love them, and I've played with people that I've used them for a long time. I've played with people that they've won it from me or got it from me through giveaways and stuff like that. They love them. You know, they're a little bit weird at first, but once they got used to them, it was weird playing without them. They're especially useful on PlayStation controllers because, you know, PlayStation controller thumbsticks wear out over time. They wear out easier, you know, an Xbox one. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it from there. Like I said, if you guys like, you know, if you guys follow the YouTube world, everything like that. One, check out Drama Alert, check out Scares. You know, I know people having different feelings about who's who, everything like that. But if you want to hear it from a podcast, let's say you're hanging out at work or you're hanging out at home and you just want to hear people talking about a recent topic, aka the CSGO Lotto, you know, stuff going on, or, you know, recent things that are going on in the news. Go on the App Store or go on the podcast area and look for the Baited Podcast. Like I said earlier, it was rated 23 on iTunes. I highly encourage you to check it out. So, all in all, that's pretty much, you know, everything I gotta say. I'm gonna let this gameplay roll out, and hope you guys are having a great day. Right after this, I will be starting up my Supreme live stream. I don't know who's on right now, so we'll see what happens from there. But I would like to thank everyone that came in to come watch and listen to what I had to say about the Scuf. Friday, I will be going over about what I'm going to do about a PC build. I mean, so many new parts coming out there, I'm not even going to get into that. I'll save that for Friday. I hope you guys are having a great day, and just stay tuned for my stream later on tonight.